Have you ever noticed that a lot of women in midlife start feeling restless? Not reckless or ungrateful, just restless. Like something inside them is trying to wake up. And maybe that's happening to you right now. You've built the life, you've handled the responsibilities, you've shown up for everyone else, but lately there's this quiet feeling. Is this really how I want to spend my next decade of my life? And what I want to tell you today is that feeling may not be random. It may actually be trying to tell you something. Hi there. Welcome back to You Can Emerge Positive. I'm Deanne Lewis, and I work with women who are in the middle of their life. Just help them show them that there is more to come, that they can do what they do want to do, that there is more after midlife. And I show them how to get the clarity and the confidence to move forward. But today I want to talk about something I think many women quietly experience in midlife, and that's the feeling that there may be something meant for you. Not necessarily a whole new life, right? But maybe a deeper alignment with yourself. A part of you that wants more meaning, more purpose, and more honesty, more you. You know, one of the biggest mistakes that we make is thinking that purpose has to be so dramatic. Like we have to quit our job or move across the country or suddenly become a completely different person. But I don't think that purpose usually enters our life like that. I think it often starts as a quiet pull, an idea that just keeps coming back, right? It just gnaws at you. A dream that you keep revisiting, or a part of yourself that you just can't ignore anymore. And in midlife, that tends to get louder because eventually many women begin asking themselves, is this really how I want to spend my next decade? Not because their current life is bad, but because you're growing. And growth creates tension, especially when you've spent years taking care of everybody else. For me, I've known for a very long time that mindset was connected to my purpose. This started way back in '04, going way, way back. And I just started uncovering things within myself. I started learning things from working with a teacher. And I knew then that this was something that is going to be a part of my future, that there was something here that I was going to be connected to and that I really was meant to share. But, knowing something and then acting on it are two very, very different things. It took me years before I finally actually took action on Emerge Positive. In fact, I didn't start Emerge Positive until 2012. So what is that, like 8 years in between the knowing and the acting? So don't be me on this, people. Do not be me. But there is a big difference, right? There's that bridge. And the real reason why it took me so long is I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I remember the very first time I posted something on Facebook, I felt so vulnerable. I felt like I was exposing myself to the world in a way that just absolutely terrified me. But I did it. I did push send, but boy, that was I mean, I still remember how I felt all this time later. It's just, it sounds actually ridiculous now, but when you share something that truly matters to you, well, it feels personal. And that's because it is personal. Over time, that one step, that hitting that post has led to two books. The second one was with Jack Canfield, called Mindset Matters. I do speaking opportunities. I do this podcast. I have a community called Beyond by Emerge Positive. But here's what I want to really share with you. My path was not linear, and I bet anything that yours isn't going to be either. The seasons, I drifted. There were seasons where I was solid, but man, there were a lot of times where I was just so insecure and uncertain. I doubted myself. I let fear take over and freeze me, I mean, for months on end. And I think a lot of women do that. I mean, we feel called towards something, maybe, and then immediately start talking ourselves out of it. That's definitely what I did. I mean, I'm too old or I'm too late. I missed my opportunity or what if it doesn't work? The fear of failure and falling on your face in front of people that you know is a terrifying thought. And it is very, very vulnerable to put yourself right out there. But just because you delayed something doesn't mean that you've missed it. I think there are so many women right now walking around with a quiet feeling that they can't fully explain. A feeling that something inside wants more. Not necessarily more stuff or more achievement, more productivity, just more alignment, more meaning, and more truth, more connection to yourself, right? And sometimes that feeling can show up as exhaustion, restlessness, emotional numbness, burnout, envy, daydreaming, or overthinking. Because a part of you knows you don't want the next decade to be exactly the way it is right now. And that realization is not selfish. In fact, I actually think it's sacred because your life is still speaking to you. One of the reasons that we ignore our gifts is because they often come so naturally to us. So we assume, well, anyone can do that. Like, how am I supposed to make money doing that? Or how am I, but you just think it's no big deal. But the thing is they can't do it, not the way that you do. I remember when I was a teenager, it was the first time I'd ever like had somebody call out a gift to me. And it was my gift of being able to sit and talk with anyone. Literally, I can sit down and have a conversation with literally any person on the planet. And I just thought that's what everybody did until one day the guy I was dating, his mom sat down next to me and said, Deanne, how do you do it? And I had no idea what she was talking about. I literally said, how do I do what? And she said, how do you sit and just talk to people? And I was floored. I mean, I literally was speechless, which was very rare for me, especially in those days. But I couldn't believe that she was asking me this question that I thought, well, isn't that what everyone does? And so I share this because your gifts are the same way. The things that come so easily to you that you don't even give a second thought to, yeah, that's your gift. And maybe that's not like going to be the main thing. I don't know, but it's certainly a clue. It's a clue to show you what you should be including in whatever your future is. So, the things that you kind of can identify, and if you can identify it, because I know some of you are out there going, I have no idea what my gifts are. Well, ask a friend, ask people, what do you think I'm good at? Truly, they'll tell you because they will see it long before you do. That's just the way it goes. I mean, gifts are just that way. They're very hidden and they're so easy, and it does really get out of the head of most people. Like you just don't see it yourself for that reason. So ask somebody because you may be surprised by the answer because again, they're going to see it long before you do. I also think this is why slowing down matters so much because the world is loud. It's so loud. And if you are a woman in midlife, you may be carrying pressure from every direction because at this point in our lives, you've got a career or maybe a career is coming to a close. You have your family, you have marriage or a relationship, your health, of course, and that's all. Don't even get me started about that. At this time of our life, our health really is going to grab your attention. Finances going into retirement, aging parents, identity shifts overall about who are you now that your life is changing and your kids are growing and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a lot. So it makes sense that your own voice gets buried underneath all the noise. Not because it disappeared, it's just quiet. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I created the reset. Because clarity rarely comes when we're rushing through life completely overwhelmed, right? It does not come then. So sometimes you just need 10 quiet minutes in the morning to actually hear yourself, to actually be able to align to who you really are. So the reset is a free PDF that you can download. It is a curated 10-minute morning routine to help you create calm and peace and clarity in your morning. So just go to emergepositive.com and it's the free button up top and download it. It is so, so easy. And you can start it tomorrow. And I promise you, you will begin to see the results of it because your mindset in the morning is setting the tone for your day. And if you are intentional about it, your day is going to unfold in a much, much better way. So if you've been feeling restless lately, or if there's been a quiet voice inside you saying, there has to be more than this, I want you to know something. That feeling may not be here to disrupt your life. I know that's where we go first, right? We think, oh, this is so irritating and I don't want this. This isn't what I'm looking for. But maybe there is a purpose for it. Maybe it is here to wake you up to your life, to wake you up. Maybe the pull that you're feeling, the idea that you keep revisiting, and the part of you keep trying to ignore, well, maybe that's not random at all. Maybe it's the part of you that's finally ready to live more fully. And maybe this next decade of your life does get to feel different. Not because you became somebody new or because you finally stopped ignoring yourself. And if you're looking for deeper support and community as you design this next chapter, well, that's why we have Beyond by Emerge Positive. It is a community of women who are just like you, who are in the middle of their life, and they have taken the reins to say, I am intentionally creating this next 10 years to be what I want, to be in alignment with who I am or who I'm becoming. So if that is something that is of interest to you, or you want to try out or you want to learn more about, go to emergepositive.com. All the information is there. It's monthly, so you can come in and out. You can try it for 30 days and see what you think. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I've got to tell you, the women that are there love the program. It is really changing lives. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Truly love it. So I just want you to know you're not behind. And it is not too late. Midlife is not the end. It is the opportunity to create the life that is aligned to who you are and who you are becoming. So listen to that voice, take a step forward, and start creating the next decade of your intention. Don't forget, you can emerge positive. And I am rooting for you all along the way. See you next Wednesday.